Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's The Rock here. So I got a question. Are you ready to fight the good fight? But above all that, not the good fight. Are you ready to fight? Period. All right, so what we wanted to do, Walking Tall, is this powerful story about this one man and his fight for what he believes in, and he has to find justice outside of the law. And with all the fight scenes, what we wanted to do, myself, Kevin Bray, everybody involved in the film, really wanted to capture every bone-crunching hit, kick, punch in the movie. We wanted to make sure that the action was raw and that was intense and it was in there. So let's take a look at how we created these action sequences. And again, keep in mind that the great thing about this movie, the great thing about Walking Tall, is the simple fact that in today's cinematic world of all the explosions and the gunplay and knife play and everything else you could possibly imagine of people floating through the air, there is none of that. It is just straight up old-fashioned, old school, hard-nosed, blue-collar, 4x4 piece of cedar, all day long, fresh ass whoopings. That's exactly what it is, because that's what you want. So let's take a look.
The whole intent of the movie is to give it a feeling of realism and to kind of sidestep the comic book stylized nature that action and violence has gotten in movies. What we wanted to have happen is that each of the violent incidents had a different flavor, and each incident is pushing the narrative along and is motivating our main character to go on and do more to succeed at his goal.
Is there a problem? Yeah, the problem is your dice are loaded. Your boss know about this? Give us our money.
The first incident where Rock is attacked in the casino while it was open had to have kind of like a train wreck chaos to it, just come out of nowhere and not be anticipating that.
Basically, all hell breaks loose in an old-fashioned stomping a mud hole in your candy ass fight.
This next one is a more stealthy, when he goes back for revenge, it's a more stealthy kind of shooting style because it's a more stealthy incident. He's got a bit of a plan, even though he's acting out of rage. He's using all the techniques and skills that he learned in the military. The third is basically just make it as riveting and energetic as possible.
Looking for you. Everybody I talk to is like, oh, you're doing Walking Tall, that's great, that's fantastic. Do you have the stick?
When I first came in, I wanted to contemporize the whole idea of the wood, and I wanted it to be in an aluminum bat, and everybody fought me on that. I actually think that they were right. I think that we found that the piece of wood was just a much more appropriate character in the film.
It's much more fun to do a real fight scene, you know, something where you feel the pain and you're not flying, doing slow motion, spinning kicks and all that stuff. There's going to be all real people, no computer generated actors, just the real thing. It's
like bringing back the movies of old, of yesterday, those movies that I was so drawn to and attracted to, that really took visceral, raw action and put it on screen.
It's different than a lot of fights now they have in, you know, the big budget films where it's so choreographed and it's very artistic. This is really raw.
That's the great thing about movies like this that I love and that I'm proud of, is when you see me within the scene and we have these great fight scenes and I have the big stick and I'm trying to knock somebody's jaw loose or somebody's trying to do the same to me. It's very relatable, very violent, but it is still nonetheless very, very relatable.
Good. The first thing I do, of course, is get the location, finding spots that would work for all the different aspects of the fight. And then we'll go and we'll start designing a fight, writing it out. I've got a fight choreographer helping, and he comes and takes what I've got and what the script has, and he comes and looks at the locations I picked, and then he goes and puts the cool little beats in that makes it just that much better.
Want to know my new favorite sound's gonna be? The sound of you screaming like a little bitch.
Initially, the final battle was going to take place in the mill. Kevin made the decision to take it out of the mill and out into the forest.
I fought long and hard for that, and for budgetary reasons and conceptual reasons, there were a lot of different schools of thought about whether we needed that. I just thought that we should get these guys naked, or, you know, symbolically naked in the wood and have them just brawling.
The man-on-man thing, no machinery around, just nature.
We know Jake has got some special skills just because he's had the money to learn them, and he's a vicious Wolverine-like character. And we know that Chris has been in the military, but nobody's been training, you know, Hapkido, and we didn't want that kind of movie.
We'll bring the stunt guys up here and we'll rehearse the whole thing. I'll video it, we'll edit it together. We'll look at the edit, we'll see what needs to change. We go and get Kevin's input. In the end, it's a combination of everyone's vision. We came out here with The Rock and with Neil. They have been able to study the video that we did, and we went through the whole fight. They've both rehearsed this entire fight. It's, of course, real important to get them familiar with it and get their input, because there's certain things that they're going to feel natural and comfortable doing.
I love that physicality. I come from that world, and I was brought up that way of always being very physical, and I loved getting in there and doing that.
Action!
It's very important that you understand that we have to get dirty and get dirt on our hands and blood on our cheek with these type of fights. It's very one-on-one.
How many times do you see the villain, you know, in a film in the middle of the woods with a suit on, getting his ass kicked and kicking someone else's ass at the same time?
Just visually, the two of them are yin and yang. I think that they just work together.
I've enjoyed the heck out of it. I think people are going to walk away from this movie saying, wow, that was a lot of fun.
Some tough bastards we got on this movie. Cowboy up.